till we have that one. That's the one. That's the one. Back. Listening to it real booming loud. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying. Hey, it's almost Christmas, which contradicts this because this was after. There we go. See, it was all about timing. It was relevant. Stupid game. Are you actually sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easily. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The GG said, hey, it's almost Christmas, when he heard the gunshot. Indeed. And? Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. It was still technically the season of Advent, but moving on. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But he should have heard that gunshot after midnight. This photograph is irrefutable proof of this fact. Let's see what time was on the photo taken when the gun triggered Miss Hart's camera. 12, 25, 0, 0, 15. 15 minutes after midnight. Christmas Day! This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order! Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard a gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, he is your friend after all. What do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Well, we know that that's right. Because the bang. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Do you have evidence for that? Yes, I do. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. I do. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. That one. Yeah. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then, where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. We know there was a loud noise, and we have someone saying it was a gunshot. I mean, you need less evidence to convict Miles Edgeworth. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. My nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? I don't know. Please show the court evidence if you have any. Oh, because it was fired 3 times. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. It's bothering me too. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times, which I raised as a contradiction. I think this was it. This was the contradiction I raised with Lotta Hart, where she said she heard 2, and I go, well, actually, no, it was fired 3 times. And it's like, oh no, because she's not lying. And yet here it is with Larry, where he's only heard one. He's not lying. Here's a contradiction between what you've said. And it's like, it's the same thing! It's the same! Just some consistency in your puzzles would be nice. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realised the truth. That third shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. So there we go. So finally, like, this is I think this is the frustration, is the game is happening at a fixed rate, and if you get ahead of it by working out the mystery ahead of time, or problems, and connect the evidence in a way that you will be doing later, you get penalised. That's I say bad murder mystery design. I'm also reading the Father Brown series, which also has bad murder mystery design, but that's because it goes the other way. Right. Order! Order! That doesn't make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. We've just said that. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? No, you're meant to come up with the case, mate. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it. I have it. Do you? Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. Oh, pretend they died somewhere else. Okay. What do you mean? Maya, yes? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. Actually, it's already been overruled. It's just whether it gets reapplied. I've got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. Right, I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. Testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. Everyone's shaking their heads. I know that's the basic animation. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? So you've finally realized the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself? Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Oh no. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. Couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. Of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 12:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. Do we have any actual evidence of this other than the gunshot? It's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Okay, so as the defense, you do have to make that assumption. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the 2 men on the boat are. Well, we know that one's Edgeworth, we know the other one's Hammond, so it has to be that. I'm gonna save. I'm scared. I'm fairly sure that's the case. But I'm getting a bit scared. Because that's 12:15, and we know Edgeworth was on it. Miles Edgeworth and Robert Hammond. Yes, I believe you are mad. That is exactly what I've been telling the court this whole time. You're agreeing with me, and yet what did you just say? That Robert Hammond had been killed 25 minutes before the shot on the boat? Yes, that's what I said. I was just testing you, Von Karma. Mr. Wright, your client has already been declared guilty once. I'm going to have to penalize you for this foolishness. Oh, that was wrong. Wait, what? Okay, that does make sense. I see again. Okay, so... But how would he not recognise... Okay, so it has to be Edgeworth and the murderer then. Because if Hammond's already dead... Right, we know Edgeworth was on the boat. Right, we know Edgeworth was on the boat. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 10 to 12, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? I don't know anymore. Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... Well, it's not Lotta Hart, and it's not Miles Edgeworth. Let's just get him a guilty. Which is a defense lawyer would just say he's no guilty. But we know it's Miles Edgeworth and the murderer, but Lotta Hart wasn't there. And I don't think you'd mistake Lotta Hart for a Robert Hammond, so I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah, again you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop that all met. Wait, what? That's a bit of a leap. At 10 to 12, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop. Okay, now it's going the other way for the murder mystery, where it's just like based on absolutely no evidence. Go on, what's the evidence? Where did you do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest, the real scene of the crime was not on a boat. What? Well then, where did the murder take place? I don't know! How do I... Was it at his shack then? Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he can meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof of the boat shop with the scene? Recall Larry's testimony if you... Oh, he heard it when he returned the boat. And that's why you could hear it over the loud music. Finds it, returns the boat. Just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honour, even though he's wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. Where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Okay, there was a degree of logic there. What happened that night on Gerd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honour. Are you sure about this? I'm not. No, neither is he. Okay, fine. I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. Did we know he was... Do we know he's left-handed? This was around 10 to 12. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shop caretaker, obviously. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations, the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. Yeah, to create a witness. He got everyone's attention. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honour. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol, fires one shot. That ensures anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, He dives in. He dives in. The murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realise that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honour. These are the events that transpired that night on Gerd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly! Poor Larry's just still standing there. Very well, while we're waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so accurate, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honour, sir. Bailiff, why? We are conducting a trial here. I ask you to remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either, because we're that quick. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. I'm confused, because it's only been 2 trial days. What's going to happen? Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. Goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. You can. You can, in absentia, you can do this. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Why? We've already kind of proved that it wasn't Edgeworth. You declare him not guilty and start a new trial. This doesn't make any sense. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. December the 27th, 1:22 p.m, District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Eventually. Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. What about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. Almost like they're written that way. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry. But I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now, and I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I meant to tell you to get it off my chest, but... Can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Just putting things together because they're all in the same narrative. Is he saying he dreams that he's the one who killed his dad in the DL6 thing? Who knows? But I'm gonna save, and we'll put the cut in there. So next time we'll do our third trial day where we don't actually need to do the trial because we've pretty much conclusively proved it wasn't Edgeworth. So this is silly. It should be a not guilty verdict for Edgeworth, and then they find the third guy, the dude. This is I think it's a bit silly at this point. But yes, next time we'll do whatever we'll be doing next. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.